The 2-seeded Wareham Gatemen and 3-seeded Cotuit Cavaliers met for Game 1 of the Western Division semifinals at Spillane Field today in what promised to be a gritty, offensively charged series, and Game 1 certainly delivered on those promises. The ball went to Jackson Wolf to start Game 1 of the playoffs, but while his last start in Chatham was a solid showing, he didn't seem on top of his stuff early on as he loaded the bases in the first. Wareham then got on the board first with a sac fly to right field from Dallas Beaver. On the very next at-bat, Matt McLean grounded a ball between first and second, which Nick Gonzalez hustled to but couldn't field, which allowed a second Wareham base runner to cross home. After Jackson plunked the next batter to reload the bases, Trey Lipscomb blooped a single into right field that brought two more Gatemen home to double the Wareham lead. Benjamin Semmes stood at the dish next, and he could not be stopped either as he lined a ball to deep left center that fell between Parker Chavers and Cam Hill for a 2 RBI double that would bring Wareham's lead to 6-0 before 2 outs were even recorded against them in the game. After the double, Jackson Wolf exited the game due to an unrevealed back problem, and Chris Holcomb entered and got out of the inning. Looking to get something started offensively, Cotuit managed to get runners on the corners after 2 singles in the third, and then Matt Mervis grounded a ball to the second baseman, who was playing too deep for a double play to be turned to end the inning, so Cotuit got 1 runner across on the fielder's choice. And while Jackson Wolf only managed to go 2/3 of an inning, Chris Holcomb came up big in relief when his team needed him to, as he pitched 2 straight 3-up, 3-down innings in the second and third, ending the latter on a 1-3 double play when he snagged a liner shot right back at him. While Holcomb was solid, the Cavalier offense needed to turn over a new leaf, and fast. Joey Loperfido led off the 4th inning hoping to do just that, when he launched a ball to opposite field that snuck just inside the foul pole for a much-needed solo shot. It brought the Cotuit faithful at the park back to life and showed the Gatemen that the Cavaliers were far from out of this one. 3 batters later, Casey Schmidt got a pitch he liked and drove it deep to left center field, where it hit the ground mere feet in front of the fence. At its depth in the park, and the bobble on the relay by the shortstop meant Cam Hill was able to score all the way from first on the hit, and Schmidt came into second for a double. Colton Kessler was up next, and he grounded a ball up the middle to the shortstop that would normally have been an easy putout, but the ball took a crazy hop over his head and into the outfield, meaning Colton reached on a single and Schmidt scored to make it only 6-4 Wareham. With Nick Gonzalez up next, it was almost a given that he would come up with the 4th consecutive hit of the inning, which would turn out to be a double he snuck just under the glove of the third baseman. The ball slowed once it reached the outfield, so Gonzalez was able to chug into second while Kessler came home to score. Only down 1 run because of their incredible offense in the inning, Cotuit was also rewarded with a Wareham mistake, as Trey Dillard hurled a wild pitch that allowed Adam Oviedo to easily score from third on the bad throw. The game was now tied, and with the momentum Cotuit had accrued in the inning, no one doubted that they would soon take the lead. And with Joey Loperfido back at the plate, he followed his homer from earlier in the inning with the go-ahead single to give Cotuit a 7-6 lead, something that had seemed impossible a mere 3 innings ago. From then on, however, both teams' pitchers remained steadfast, and even when Wareham tried to get something started in the 5th with a leadoff single by Pete Durkee, a poor base-running decision led to him easily being tagged out at second. Cotuit kept Wareham quiet, but they were rifling through their pitchers, and Wareham finally got to Bo Hofstra, who walked 2 in the 7th and then gave up what everyone in the park knew was a huge hit off the bat of Adrian Del Castillo. His double to the wall with 2 guys on looked to be the go-ahead hit, until Cotuit's stonewall defense shone again with an expert 7-4-2 relay that got the runner out at the plate. So Wareham had tied the game up at 7-7, but they had not gone ahead. After Hofstra, Coach Roberts brought in Kyle Nicholas to keep Wareham at bay, and Nicholas delivered a 1-2-3 9th inning where he fanned all 3 batters and sent the Cavaliers game into extra innings for the very first time this season. But Cotuit couldn't do anything in the top of the 10th, by which time Coach Roberts had completely emptied the bench, and in the bottom of the inning, Nicholas had given up a hit and a walk to get into a 1-out jam. Having put in a pinch runner, Wareham looked geared to walk this game off, and it looked like they would do just that when Matt Rudick singled into right field. but Christian Robinson grabbed the ball and hurled a perfect throw directly to Cody Pasek at home plate to get the speedy runner Mike Antico out in dramatic fashion and keep the Kettleers alive in this one. The Kettleers still needed one more out to send this one to the 11th, but with a runner still on, Trey Lipscomb grounded a slow-moving ball towards short that would be a tough play. Casey Schmidt tried to cut it off but stumbled and couldn't get off a good throw to Mervis at first. So Lipscomb was safe and Matt McLean scored to complete the walk-off 8-7 win for the Gatemen. Following the disappointing but dramatic and well-fought loss, the Kettleers will be at Lowell Park tomorrow for Game 2 of this series versus the Gatemen, with the game starting at 4 instead of the usual 5 o'clock. After tonight's game, we spoke with Coach Roberts about his team's performance, and sending you now to our interview with him and signing off for the Cotuit Kettleers, I'm Jacob Cohen.
Coach, Chris Holcomb was the forgotten star in that game, picking up the bullpen after a Jackson Wolf injury. Just how impressed were you with his ability to come in a little cold and just pitch wonderfully?
Well, Chris did a great job to hold him till we could get back in the ball game, and that's always a good thing in your long reliever. But we just dug a huge hole to start with, but certainly Chris did a great job.
The floor is yours, Coach. Anything to add going into Game 2 for tomorrow?
No, we just got to play as hard as we did tonight. I mean, just disappointing. And the players are more disappointed than I am, I guarantee you. But hopefully we'll come back and play as hard tomorrow.